Let's see if this works. Oh, cool. So apparently stream queue is just wrong. Anyway, so we finally figured out the YouTube live thing. So if you want to tune in with us live, feel free to leave something in the chat. I'll try to address your questions as we're going. But today we're going to be doing an episode on getting started with Magic the Gathering, which is good timing because there is a new set, and usually new sets dropping is a good time to jump in.
Absolutely.
Although War of the Spark is a little complicated compared to other ones. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, you might wait until Core 2020 and just keep up with Magic news. So to start this off, we normally do our duels, which we started last week. But we have a special fun unboxing to start out with. So this is the Planeswalker deck from War of the Spark, the Gideon one. So we're going to go ahead and open this. So yeah, I'm still doing better than you last week.
Man, that was a struggle last week. I have no excuses for last week.
So,
that was just a struggle.
So with each set, they usually release 2 different Planeswalker decks. This current set had both Jace and Gideon. And this is actually the last time we're going to see Gideon because he did a dead.
Yeah.
So within the package contents, you're going to have one foil Planeswalker card. And this is Gideon the Oathsworn. Then in here as well, you're going to have your Planeswalker deck, which this foil Planeswalker goes with the deck itself. So we'll open this up. Inside, you also get 2... Oh! Everything's flying at me.
All right, now we're even.
Now we're even. You get 2 Magic the Gathering War of the Spark booster packs. Set those off, because that's what we're going to use for our little duel here in a second. You'll get the deck itself, as well as a kind of beginner introduction pamphlet thing. So this talks about Gideon as a character, but then also how to play the deck and different things to know. And then on the back is just kind of some other Planeswalker-y-esque story pieces. And also an advert for Magic the Gathering Arena pasted on there because obligatory. Set that there for now. So let's get cracking on this Planeswalker deck. So each of these decks is designed with newer players in mind. These are moderately simple decks. They're kind of built off of whatever foil Planeswalker you have. So it is advised to pick up whatever Planeswalker you like. So if you like Jace more, get that one.
Yeah.
I personally like Jace more, but I felt like we should give Gideon a good send-off by picking up his actual...
So we're not really going to see much of Gideon in the future, so now's kind of our chance.
Yep. So in here we have a Command the Dreadhorde, an Oath of Kaya. That's a weird one to put in here. Gideon's Battlecry. Another Gideon's Battlecry. A Kaya, Bane of the Dead. We got 3 Ajani's Pridemates. Come on, 4 Charm Strays. Yes, Charm Strays, my favorite card from this set because it's just gorgeous and I love cats. 2 Enforcer Griffins. 3 Makeshift Battalions. 2 Trusted Pegasus. A War Screecher. A Vampire Opportunist. Looks like 3 Cruel Celebrants. 3 Gideon's Company. And then the rest should all just be lands. So we have... Oh, no, there's a couple in the back for some reason. So we have a lot of basic lands and then 4 Orzhov Guildgates, which are primarily from the last set. Then here we have Bond of Discipline. 3 Ob Nixilis' Cruelty, which is my favorite removal from this entire set.
Yeah, that was definitely up there.
Oh yeah, it's really strong. 4 Desperate Lunges. That's actually pretty impressive that we got 4 of those. That's a weird one to include a playset of. And then just a couple of other little cards. And on the back of one of these is a code. If you do play Arena, you can use it to actually basically get this deck digitally in case you want to actually be playing a little bit. That way you can get some practice in. So we're going to talk a little bit in just a bit about what this product is good for, why you might want to pick this up, and other products that you might want to pick up from a beginner standpoint. But before we get to there, it's time for us to duel. So it's going to be the same kind of rules as last time. You get 2 points for a mythic, 1 point for a rare, 2 points for a foil. If there is a masterpiece, which there are no masterpieces in this set, 5 points. You will lose points equal to the converted mana cost, and then if you win the interaction, so like last week I killed his creature with a cast out, and he had a it was the I can't remember the name. It's one of my favorite zombie cards from the Amonkhet set.
Yeah.
But basically, if I have a destroy spell and he has a creature, I'll kill it. But if I have a target creature gets -2/-2, and he has a 4/4 creature, I lose. Then the other thing that we discussed afterwards that wasn't relevant last time, but will be potentially more relevant, is creatures can deal power equal to creatures deal damage equal to the power to the other player, so long as they're not dead. So had I not killed his creature last week, he would have ended up dealing 2 damage to me because that was his power. So who do you want, Gideon or Teferi?
Let's do Teferi. Yep,
All right, Teferi it is. All right, so we're getting these open. Give a good whiff. I love the smell of new packs.
I'm just going to say right now, this is going swimmingly better than last week. So I managed to get my pack open this time.
2 tokens there.
Alright, let's see what we got here. Looks like I ended up with a zombie token.
I love those zombie tokens.
And a forest.
Alright, what did we get? Ready?
Yep.
I got a Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord.
Biosense Hydra.
Oof. Alright, can I kill that? Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Nope. Return target creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. As long as it's my turn, creatures and planeswalkers I control have lifelink. And then Bioessence Hydra, 4/4 trample, enters the battlefield with the 1/1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on planeswalkers you control. And whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are put on planeswalkers you control, put that many 1/1 counters in Bioessence Hydra. So I think I lost this week.
Yep.
Because I don't think Sorin's going to be doing anything against the Bioessence Hydra. So, start out with converted mana cost. You're going to be losing 5, putting you down at 13. I'm going to be losing 4, putting me down at 12. And then you gain 1 for your winning the actual interaction. So you're up at 14. We both get 1 for having a rare. So I'm at 13. You're at 15. And then you're going to trample me with a Hydra. So yes. I'm going to lose 4 and go down to 9. So, yeah, that kind of hurts my face. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. It was a lot better than last week. So
I liked last week.
I'm feeling a little better about that. So, yeah.
Alright.
Cool.
Those.
Alright.
So anyway, on to our main topic. So today, with the new set coming out, we wanted to talk a little bit about kind of where to go from here if you're a little unfamiliar, or if you have a friend that wants to actually jump into Magic, where do they start? So one of the first big ones is, of course, the Planeswalker decks that we just kind of went over. This is a great way for people to get started if they don't have a collection or if they don't have friends with excess cards. Because, like, both of us have decks that's like, yeah, this is a beginner deck that we'll just give to someone and be like, yeah, play with it. And if they're like, oh, I really like that, we're like, yeah, keep it. It was like $2.
Right.
I paid nothing for the cards.
Right. Well, and the other thing to mention with some of the Planeswalker decks that they're actually releasing, like this one specifically, some of the cards are exclusive to the actual Planeswalker decks as well. So you don't really get a chance to actually buy those unless you can kind of track them down from as a single. So
and typically the actual cards in there aren't phenomenal, but actually I think there was 1 or 2 in here that was actually considered good. Gideon's Battle Cry is the typical kind of one, which that one is here. Gideon's Battle Cry and a lot of those are search your library for the Planeswalker card that your actual deck is built around. Oh, this is the one. Desperate Lunge was actually considered to be a pretty decent card. It's 2 mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Yeah. So that was actually considered to be a pretty strong card from this from the limited standpoint. But the problem is you can't actually get them in any packs, so you won't ever play it limited. Constructed, it's not great. I don't think people would run it in Constructed. But Magic also always pulls up the actual deck list for this. So here, if you want to actually look at the deck list that we kind of went over, we went over it real quick, so you might want to actually take a look at this. But it's these are the 4 cards that only come in the Gideon deck. But then it's also going to, down here, talk about the other cards in it. And as you hover over, it'll actually show you. So we have the Kaya, Gideon of the Oathsworn, which this is the Gideon that is only available in the Planeswalker deck. Ajani's Pridemate, Charmed Stray, Enforcer Griffin, and so on and so forth. So this will give you the entire breakdown, as well as kind of being able to look at what is exactly in it before you purchase. So if you're interested but want to make sure it's the deck that you want to play, you can definitely check it out. It'll give you the visual of each of the cards.
Absolutely.
So the other one, which we don't have to open up today, is the Jace Arcane Strategist one, which starts out with Jace the Arcane Strategist, which is 4 and 2 blue. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. +1 draw card. -7 creatures you control can't be blocked this turn and enters with 4 loyalty. So they're really pushing this 1/1 counter thing in this set for creatures. With the whole proliferate and amass, and there's just a lot of counters flying around.
Lots of counters in this set.
Yeah, I think even the Gideon one had a lot of that with the Ajani's Pridemate and that whatnot. Next up is Guildpact Informant. 2 and a blue for a Fairy Rogue. Flying whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, proliferate. And it's a 1/1. So nothing great. I mean, it works. Do you want to do the next 2?
Sure. Next up, we got Jace's Protection for 4 CMC. Comes in as a 2/2 creature. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Jace's Protection. And it has a ability that you can activate for 4 mana. Put a loyalty counter on target Jace Planeswalker. So this one's really going to be helping out, the main Planeswalker Jace in this deck. But, honestly, that's a pretty decent card to even put into some of your, other constructed decks as well. Next up, we have Jace's Ruse, which is coming in at 5 CMC. It's sorcery. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Jace and reveal it, put it into your hand, and then search your. If you search your library this way, you get to shuffle as well. So every single one of these Planeswalker decks are going to have that card that basically searches for the head Planeswalker.
Yeah.
So like we saw in the last Gideon one as well.
Yeah. So they really are designed to build. They're built around those planeswalkers and really built to kind of push those planeswalkers out. And it primarily a lot of these are built to kind of show off like what synergy is and get people thinking about those combos. So it's definitely a pretty beginner-friendly place to start.
Yeah.
And then of course again we have the deck list here, which since we don't have this one, we'll go over real quick. So they have 2 planeswalkers. Of course, the Jace, the Arcane Strategist, which we just went over. Kira Behemoth Beckoner, which is 3 mana, 2, and then a hybrid blue-green. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And -1 to untap target permanent. And she comes in with 7. Then you have 22 total creatures. Primordial Worm, which is just a big green dummy.
Yeah. Big
Spark Double, which... this card is still ridiculous. Playing against it at the pre-release was terrifying.
Oh, I believe it.
All right, now I don't have to just deal with that one problematic thing. I have to deal with that other problematic thing.
Yep.
I still need to pick one up though. Bioessence Hydra. We just had another one of these. So because if we had gotten that Jace deck, we would have had 2 to put in. Oh well. Kira's Dambreaker, a 5/6. 6 mana, 5 and a blue for Leviathan that when it enters the battlefield you proliferate. Bloom Hulk, which is a 4/4, enter the battlefield, proliferate for 4 mana, 3 and a green. Pollen Bright, 2 mana, 1 and a green. When it enters, you either proliferate or put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and it's a 1/1. This was a strong card also in Sealed when I did the pre-releases. Really, really fun to see. Ward Scale Crocodile, 5 mana, 5/3, Hexproofer. Really annoying. Merfolk Skydiver, blue and a green for a mutant that Merfolk mutant with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then it has a repeatable effect for 5 mana, 3, a blue and a green to proliferate, and it starts out as a 1/1. Guild Pact Informant, which we just went over, and then Jace's Projection, which Kyle just went over. Do you want to take care of the sorceries?
Sure. Let's see. We've got 2 Jace's Ruse. It's 5 drops. Sorcery. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. You may search your library for or graveyard for a Jace card. Basically, you bring it into your hand, shuffle it. Same kind of deal with the other ones. So,
yeah. Well, this is the one we talked about up ahead.
Yeah.
Up ahead, up there,
up over there, around the corner.
Underwear. All right.
Jace's Triumph, which is 3 drops sorcery. Draw 2 cards. If you control a Jace Planeswalker, draw 3 cards instead. So, again, it's really kind of relying on you controlling that Jace Planeswalker. Not a bad card. 2 Stealth Mission. 3 CMC. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, and then they can't be blocked this turn.
Yeah, totally fun card.
Courage in the Crisis, there's going to be 2 of these guys. 3 CMC, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and proliferate.
Lots of proliferate in this set.
Yeah. Band together, 3 CMC. There's going to be 2 of them in this deck. Up to 2 target creatures you control, each deal damage equal to their power to another creature.
This is actually a really strong card. I've seen this do a ton. Because it is removal and it's really strong removal. Because your creatures aren't taking any damage.
Right. The thing about this one that I really appreciate versus the ones that I've seen in some of the other sets are usually it's target creature you control fights another target creature you don't control. And what happens at that point, if you try and take out something a little bigger, you end up losing your creature. But this one's straight dealing damage equal to its power to another creature.
Yep.
So that's definitely some pretty solid removal for a pretty low CMC.
Yeah, and in green, that's something you need. I believe this one's actually a reprint, New Horizons.
This one is, yeah.
2 and a green enchant land. When it enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and the enchanted land can tap for 2 mana of any color. Then, of course, just the lands. So we have a Simic Guildgate and then islands and forests. So again, a really great way to start getting started.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can always upgrade and build upon the decks, too. And part of that is the 2 boosters that come in there. You can definitely open those up. And, if I had gotten the Jace one, I'd probably be throwing the second copy of Bioessence Hydra in there.
Yeah.
And maybe buffing it with a couple of other Planeswalkers as well.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to some of the other products that you might want to get. So there are a couple of other ones. Of course, your local game stores will oftentimes have simple kind of just bulk bins, which you can definitely pull cards out of and build something out of that. But one of my favorites, and as soon as War of the Spark actually releases, I'm probably going to pick one up, is the bundle, where it's a box that comes with 10 booster packs, a set of basic lands, and then a spin down die. And really, that's another great way to start building a collection, because that's really the first thing that most Magic players want to do and need to do, is just start building up that collection. So these are both 2 great ways to do that. But say you're not completely sold on actually picking up products yet, or you don't know if you're actually still like it. So of course there is Magic the Gathering Arena, which I played a little bit of the other night, and I'll probably be playing a little bit of in the future as well.
Yeah.
And streaming for you guys.
I also do a little bit of streaming for Magic Arena as well. So there's always chances to. I mean, the thing that I've noticed, there's always someone streaming Magic Arena on Twitch. So, I mean, even if it's not us, there's always someone streaming. So, it's definitely worth checking out. There's some pretty cool content out there. So.
Yeah, and it's if you also want to get in and try it out, it is free. You don't have to spend any money to get started with it. Now, if you want to start building competitive decks, then it gets a little pricey. But if you want to just jump in and start playing, it is completely free. And I actually haven't spent any money on the game, and I have a pretty sizable collection. So it's definitely something that if you're interested in it, just jump in. It is free. It's really, really fun. But if you're kind of want that social interaction, that's definitely a possibility. So we have a couple of different events that you can go to. So the first one is actually this coming weekend, May 4th and May 5th, which May 4th is also a big nerd day because, of course, it's May the 4th be with you.
It's also my cat's birthday.
It's your cat's birthday,
It's
so...
going to be my cat's birthday, May the 4th.
May
Who
the
would have
4th?
thought that one, huh?
Oh, cat's birthday. I think that more pertains to you, but happy birthday to your cat.
Yes.
But we have the May the 4th day, which is the Star Wars day. We're not going to cover that because you should all know what that is. It is also the the War Draft weekend because it's the weekend that War of the Spark comes out. So we'll be covering that in a moment. But the greatest beginner event is the open house. So by showing up to the open house, you will get a basic deck. You start your Magic journey here. This is literally for just the bare beginners. So if you have a friend that you want to bring, or if you're just interested, you can show up. There will be people there to teach you. And you get free Magic cards. You get a free deck to play with. It is a beginner deck, so it's not going to be winning any tournaments anytime soon, but it's a way for you to start learning. And if you have friends that really like to play, you can usually drag them along with, because you will also be getting this promo here, which we'll talk a little bit about the promos in a bit, and I also did another video on that if you want to get really in depth with them. But it really is kind of for the brand new players, and they have a cheesy little video that we can throw on real quick.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Gabby.
And we're here to talk about Magic open houses. Now, do you want to start playing Magic? Or do you know someone who wants to start playing? I mean anybody. Your next door neighbor, your cousins, your local mail carrier, anybody. Anyone.
Open houses are held at game stores that are part of the Wizards Play Network. They are designed to
He's
introduce
so
new
happy.
players to Magic. So if you or your friends
fired
want
up,
to learn
dude.
how to play, they are the perfect place to start.
And you won't be starting empty-handed either. You get a free welcome deck. Oh, and I almost forgot, a promo card. Gutter's Knight. Instant and sorceries.
So this is the promo from Magic 19, so
Open houses are a great
not
way to jump
this
in.
one. But anyway, so it's a great way to play. You can drag your friends along. A friend might drag you. And just check with your local game store to make sure they're having an event. But that brings us to the next event, which is the draft weekend for War of the Spark. This one isn't as beginner friendly, so you might jump into this if you're a little more familiar with drafting from Arena, or if you've drafted with friends before.
Yeah.
But this is the draft weekend for War of the Spark, and it's that weekend. It'll be either Saturday or Sunday at your local game store. Again, with all of these, just check with your local game store. But these ones, what will happen is you're going to come in and you're going to actually just play with the new set, essentially. And it's going to be a draft, which we haven't really covered too much here, and we're not necessarily going to do that today.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun way to do this, to actually play Magic. It's one of my favorite ways. It's also the same way that Friday Night Magic will do these things. So if you're also interested in just getting out and playing more, Friday Night Magic's another great way to do this. That, however, does fluctuate a lot more. The draft weekend, you will be doing a draft, and with the open house, you will be playing with those beginner decks. Neither one of them are really all that competitive.
They're
more
definitely
just for fun.
usually a pretty casual experience, kind of like a pre-release as well. You really don't run into too many people in the area that are just gonna trample you with a brand new set of cards.
Yep.
Because they're learning too, this is a brand new set, so this kind of brings everyone down to that same tier, and it's like, all right, we're all learning together, we all get to play together, and it really helps everyone kind of like help each other and grow. So it's definitely worth checking out, absolutely. And this is actually one of the more inexpensive ways to start playing Magic as well. I hear that a lot about like new players and getting like nervous about getting into pay to win and all this other stuff, and it's I'm not going to bring that topic up, but
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those good events to kind of get your foot in the door. So.
Yeah. And you do bring up a good point that there is kind of this stigma of it's like pay to win and whatnot, and we'll probably cover that at some point in a different video. We're not going to go too in depth with that, but really, it's this is a fairly low cost way because it's $15. You get 3 booster packs you're going to draft with, which you take one out and then pass it around, and you just pass around the cards, taking one from each pack as it comes to you. But really, it kind of evens the playing field because it's no one comes with this pre-constructed deck that's like, yeah, I went and bought the best cards. No, we're all starting with 3 packs. We're all buying the same thing, and it's just randomized. So
you'll have the same amount of time to see the cards. So.
And it also brings in chance too, which I kind of like. It really plays off some of Magic's strengths, and booster packs are actually designed for drafting. A lot of people don't realize that. It's completely built for drafting. So, if you go to these events, you will end up getting some promos. So for the Planeswalker weekend, these are the 2 promos. This is actually for a different event. This is the Planeswalker weekend. Sorry about that. Let's jump over there real quick. I'm just jumping all over the place tonight.
It's all right.
So Planeswalker weekend for War of the Spark. This is their big celebratory event. This will vary as well. Some places will be doing a standard event. Some people will be doing modern. The main store I go to only really does drafts, so this will be hit or miss. Definitely check with your local game store, just like with all these other ones. But really, what it is it's you come in with you come into the store and you just play with the cards, and it's just a really big event that's just really fun. There's lots of promos. Some places also do prizes for you, door prizes, prizes for doing well, all these other great things. And it's just really great. They also give away playmats, so if you do end up doing really, really well, you will get a playmat. Apparently for this one, they're also going to be giving away stickers, it looks like. Some places might be having stickers. And then they'll also be giving away promos, which now we'll talk about promos.
There you go.
So, I promise, I know what I'm doing. So, the event promos for the open house and the draft weekend, which is coming up this coming Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and May 5th, is Bolas' Citadel and Liliana's Triumph. And it's alternate art of both of them, so you can't just pick these up out of a booster pack. The only way to get these is to actually go to the event, and it's one of my favorite things about going to events. I have a binder that's just these promos because it's like, partly it's these are really cool, really pretty cards, but partly too it's a kind of like keepsake. It reminds me of going to an actual like event and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then there's also Friday Night Magic promos. We won't go too in depth to that, but these are if you go to an actual like event for Friday Night Magic anytime between May 3rd and July 5th, so from when War of the Spark is officially released till the next set comes out, which should be Core 2020, you'll be getting these promos, and it's going to be these 3. Then Planeswalker weekend, which is the May 25th and May 26th event, that's the big one. That's going to be Time Wipe and Karn's Bastion. So definitely, it's worth checking out. If you are interested in the game and want to just get out there and get your feet wet, this is one of the best ways to. Because I always have this joke where if I ask him to play around and he's busy, he has no obligation to. If I go to a game store for an event, they're kind of like have to play me. So
yeah. There's no backing out of that one. You're here, you signed up, you're playing, right? So
yeah, technically you can drop, but then you're a loser.
Then then you're wasting your money. So.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun.
It's all in fun.
Although I will sometimes, if you're not having fun, definitely drop. You don't want to like force yourself to play. I actually ended up dropping one of my pre-releases because I just had a terrible card pool. I'm like, this just isn't fun. I'm just out. It was also after playing for like 20 hours that weekend. I hit it really hard. It was so much fun. Yeah. So definitely, it's a great way to get into these things. Lots of great fun ways to. And the other thing too is, the community is really supportive. That's part of what we want to do with this channel.
Yeah.
And it's part of just what Magic is in general, is this very supportive community. And it's definitely something that we both encourage and we both enjoy about Magic the Gathering. So definitely, we would love to hear your stories. Did you go to a pre-release and have a great time? Or, did you have a friend that got you into it that was just a great moment? We want to hear about these things and we want to start talking about them.
Or if, you guys have, any questions about getting your friend into Magic, maybe some, tips and tricks of the trade of trying to get your friends into Magic, tricking them into playing Matt. No, I'm just kidding. But, and it's like you guys can feel free to ask us those questions as well. And, like, we're going to, do what we can to answer those questions. And, we really just want to hear some feedback and, kind of help everyone out and, spread the word, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Definitely. So, next week, this time, definitely tune in because we will be talking about a new format that's coming up that is very relevant to the new set.
Mm-hmm.
So, War of the Spark had 36 total Planeswalkers. 37 if you count the Buy a Box promo, which some people do, some people don't. But there's 37 new Planeswalkers coming out. So, as of 2017, so about 2 years ago, a format started coming up called Oathbreaker. And both Kyle and I, as well as some of our other friends, have built a couple of Oathbreaker decks. We're going to be playing them, testing them out over this next week, and then we're going to be talking about the Oathbreaker format. So definitely tune in for that.
Yeah.
I think it takes the best aspects of 60-card things like Standard and Modern, and the best aspects of things like Commander, and really combines them in a really great way. It's so much fun to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be... I mean, once we get our play group into it, I think we're going to be playing that quite a bit more often.
Yeah.
So I think
you still need to build your deck.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that this week, and
I'm all set. I'm super excited.
Hopefully get that all done. I just can't make up my mind. I don't know what I want to do yet, but there's so many options.
Yeah,
But,
and with 37 new Planeswalkers, there are a lot more options. So if you're interested in it, definitely tune in next week. We're super excited. But anyway, we hope you have a great night and have fun becoming a wizard.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Kyle. God.